I've never been really a cattle person. I never, like growing up, we didn't have cattle. Of course, here in Southwest Missouri, it's cattle. I mean, this is cattle country. I mean, everybody's got cattle except for us. I mean, most of my friends growing up, their parents had cattle. Most of my good friends today, they've got cattle and working beef ranches, beef farms. I've spent a lot of time around cattle, but I've never owned any. I don't want to own any. I'll put it that way. That's not my thing. I'm not a cowboy, but as far as they call this the Range Line Road, is what this is called over here in this part of the world. I mean, all the locals and everybody knows it as Range Line Road. And really, Circle A here, they've got a heck of a beef operation going. They feed, I mean, as far as you can see, both sides of the road, that's all theirs. It's well over a mile over there to the top of the hill. Then once you get over that hill, they still own land. And of course, everything back this direction and back that direction. But they pull up here every day, and they've got a grinding truck, and they've got some kind of, I'm guessing it's silage and some other molasses and stuff, but they'll pull right up and they'll dump that stuff in, you know, those, I don't know, troughs there, and they feed all these cattle. Of course, you know, them cattle, they ain't dumb, you know, they're hanging out here just waiting to be fed that good stuff. So, and they're not real tame, but you can get fairly close to these things. I couldn't even begin to tell you how many head of cattle they have. It's a couple thousand head. It's enough to where they've got full-time employees here that work for them. But guys, thanks a lot for all the concern. I had a lot of people message me on our Facebook page if we were okay or affected by the tornadoes they had here in Missouri Monday night. And we had some strong straight line winds. There was no real damage here where I'm at. Now, there was tornadoes to the north of me, and there was tornadoes to the south of me. Upper in the Oak Grove, Missouri area, up by Kansas City, just east of Kansas City. They got hit pretty good by a tornado. And we do a lot of work up in that area. But we didn't have anything that affected us here. So we got real lucky, but there were a lot of strong straight line winds. I don't know, I'd heard gusts straight line just up to 70 mile an hour is what I'd heard. And now don't get me wrong, there was a little bit of damage, but no tornado damage, I'll put it that way. I mean, there were some signs that came down, some roofs that got some shingle damage, things like that. But of course, you know, it was on my mind all night long. I'm like, oh my gosh, don't hurt my trees, don't hurt my walnut trees. That's what I was worried about. Selfish old logger like I am. Walnut's usually really susceptible to, I mean, anytime we have any bad weather, walnut usually takes the brunt, the blunt of it. They don't do good in the wind, they don't do good in the ice, the tornadoes. If the ground's saturated and we get any wind, we're right over. They don't have a very strong root system. Nothing like an oak or a hedge or something else. Cattle. But I think we're just about finished up back over here. So I'm just kind of hanging out, waiting on Dad to get here. And because I don't even know where this next grove of trees is, so when they get here, we're going to go over here on the other side of the road somewhere. I don't know where, because like I said, I know the farm, but I don't know the farm. I haven't been on a lot of this farm, so as soon as they get here, we're going to go over there and start dragging on this next little grove of walnut. And I'd like to do some cutting this morning is what I'd like to do. So maybe I can even get a little cutting in before the day's end. So we'll see what goes on. Hang out with us. One of my best friends, he's a logger, and his grandpa is about the same age as my dad. They've logged all their lives. And we talk about every day. I mean, we don't live that far apart from each other. We talk about every day. Just like I said, he's one of my best friends. We don't talk about much more than logging. Of course, you know, when you share common ground, I mean, we always got a lot to talk about. But he was asking me, you know, we were talking about work, and I told him yesterday, you know, so I was dragging treetops up with the apprentice, and Kenny was dragging logs out to the deck, and Dad was cutting them up. He was kind of giving me a hard time. He said, "You're making your old man run that chainsaw and cut those tops up." Man, my dad, he don't want to run a skidder. Like, you can't get him to run a skidder. If he can't run that chainsaw, he ain't gonna work. That's all he wants to do is run the chainsaw. I'm sitting here right now. You might be able to see out there. He's getting ready to bring a tree down. That is all he wants to do is cut trees. He don't want to do anything else. He don't want nothing to do with these skidders. He wants to cut trees. He's cutting the spurs off right now. There she goes, rocking. Come on now. There it goes. Now what I'll do is I'll take the apprentice here and I'll go up there and I'll grab the whole thing. And I'm going to drag it right over here behind us here by the edge of the woods. We'll cut the log out of it, cut the top up, and push that top in the timber out of the field here, out of the pasture ground. But yeah, my dad, you can't get him to run a skidder. All he wants to do is run a chainsaw. 72 years old, chainsaw is all he wants to do. He can run a skidder. He's run them before, you know, but as long as he's got me or Kenny around, and that's the thing, the three of us will fight over who's going to get a cut. That's what's bad. Nobody really wants to run a skidder. It's one of those things. I'm on them a lot, but I'm the low man on the totem pole, I guess. I'm on them a lot more than I want to be. But everybody wants to run chainsaw. I'd much rather cut. Oh boy. I'd much rather cut than I would anything. Come on, you. You know, when I was young, I used to think running the skidder was the greatest thing in the world, but it gets monotonous. It gets to where, you know, it's just point A to point B all day long. That's all you do. It's got to be done, but see if you can see back there. These little windows are so scratched up you can't hardly see out of them. Need to put a new set of glass in the furnace here. It's really not sunny out today, but as odd as it sounds, these sunglasses I'm wearing, they're polarized. And I can see out of these windows a lot better with these sunglasses on. I'll go up here and drop this off and get some more footage. many trees. This one is. I mean, the others weren't too bad, but good trees. Got some limbs. Now, the reason I'm cutting them up so much is because, listen, well, that's a good log there. My gosh, that's a good one. That's got a heck of a veneer cut in it. Put some irons in it. Now, the reason I'm cutting these up is because, like I said, the last few videos, we're cleaning these tops up, but we're going to drag the log out and I'll push all this brush right over here along the timber out of the way. That way we're not taking up any pasture ground. Because when you're running as many cattle as they are, you probably need all the pasture you can get. Let's see what Dad's doing here. Dad's getting ready to bring one down. There it goes. Shaboom. Big boy sitting there. Cummins diesel's loud there, knocking. Here, I thought I'd get off and show somebody a tree. Like, this tree looks really good standing. Looks incredible. But then you get around to the back side here. She's got some issues. She's been lightning struck years ago. Now we're still going to cut this tree because it's still got a little meat in it, and it ain't going to get no better. That's just the thing. It ain't leaving that tree here ain't doing nobody any justice. So we're going to cut it and salvage what we can out of it. Probably going to be some mad squirrels because it's still producing walnuts. But that's what we're going to do. Prentice is almost a little bit of a flex there. Kenny backing up to 540. I'm going to grab that one. There's been several up here on this ridge. We got several right here. These are pretty good trees right here to get. I'm telling you, we can't catch a break with this wind. You can see the weeds are starting to kind of move here. In the mornings it ain't bad, but man, for like the last week, we've had wind here. I mean, bad wind. You know, of course, you get out here in these hills, these kind of rolling hills over here, this part of the country we're in, there ain't a whole lot to stop it once it gets to blowing either. Old Cummins are good motors, kind of a throwaway motor is what I call them. I don't ever think they're worth rebuilding. I think a guy's better off, if you have problems, just throw it away and get another one. Cheap power. There we go. That's a pretty good log there. Kind of caught up. I was actually waiting until Dad got a couple of these put on the ground, and I was gonna drag them over here to the edge of the timber and cut the tops up. I kind of need to stretch my legs every now and then too. Little skidders just beat you to death riding in them. You can see how that sawdust is blowing there. The wind's really starting to pick up. Boom. Off to the deck. Okay, there. As I was going to take lunch, I actually got a call from this other landowner over here. John's his name. And like I said, I mean, I knew he'd be cool with it, but I always think it's important to kind of let the landowner know what's going on. It started out, we were just cutting some trees out of the fence row because they're putting in a new fence between John and the cattle ranch here. Of course, John said, yeah, just do whatever you want. Well, when we logged John's place about a year ago, it was full vegetation. It was right there towards the middle or end of April. We had full vegetation going on. Couldn't see anything. Jungle over in there. And long story short, we missed about 14 trees, 12, 14, somewhere in there. And so I told, when I called John, I was like, hey, I said, do you want to go ahead and cut those? course he does, you know, yeah, cut them, which I kind of figured he would, but it's always good to double check. I like to keep everybody in the loop. No surprises. No surprises. Nobody likes surprises. Well, I mean, there are some good surprises, but generally in the logging world, nobody likes surprises. So I'm getting ready to fire this old thing up here, the B cable machine. We're gonna finish out the day with it, try to get these few cut, get them laid out here with the rest of John's trees. I drug out a nice little piece of slash there, as you can tell. You watched the video from one day last week. We'll get John finished up. Then we really need to get this skidder way over there, where we're actually at now. About, God, I bet it's 2 miles over there at least. 2 miles straight over there to where the other two skidders are at, because tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow and Friday, we're going to pull some trees away from the fence, or that are on the fence. Of course, it's a lot easier with the old cable machine here. So we're going to do that. I don't know if I'll film. Yeah, I'll try to get some footage here in a minute when we get to go doing these. It's already going to be a long video today, so we'll do that. Of course, as you can tell, I can just ramble on and on and on talking. If I had a camera crew, I could make several videos. I do. It's fun making the videos. And there's a lot of stuff I'd like to get on video, but I'm not quick enough to the draw, or it's happening so fast I don't have a chance to film it. So I try to film what I can. I do miss a lot of good stuff, or you guys miss a lot of good stuff. I got to see it in person. But so we'll fire this thing up here, then up there, up in the woods there in the hills. We'll go up there and grab those walnuts sitting down here with these. So let's go do that. This turned out to be a really good set of logs here. I didn't get much action footage film like I'd planned. It went pretty fast today. This second half did. It was just me and Dad, and we cooked through them pretty quick. Some pretty good logs here. They were definitely worth getting. Be some footage in that bunch. Real good set of logs. I can't believe we missed those a year ago when we were cutting on that place. Definitely worth getting. Guys, getting off here for the day. It's way past quitting time for me. I'm used to those banker's hours. But tomorrow we'll take that little cable skidder there over to where we've been working and pull some trees. So hopefully on tomorrow's video we'll have some action videos of pulling trees and stuff, which it's slow going, but usually it's when we pull trees they're well worth pulling. So we'll just do that. But we'll get out of here, go home. I got things to do tonight. But thanks a lot for watching the channel as always. Oh, to answer somebody's questions, sometimes it's easier for me to answer questions like this if I can remember them. Somebody asked me if when we mark logs, if we use a tape measure or a ruler, like one of those, I call it a flip stick, but we use one of those little sticks. A flip stick. Of course I don't have one handy here in my Toyota, but for us it's quick, it's easy. Of course it's all my dad's ever used. That's what I was brought up using, and I think that's a lot of it. Just whatever you're comfortable with and brought up using, that's kind of what you stick with. Kind of like with equipment or anything. It's just whatever you're comfortable with and whatever you're used to running and using. That's just kind of how you follow suit. But I'm sure there were some other questions. Oh, somebody asked me if we were going to do a video of us hauling all these logs. I don't know. Maybe, probably not. It depends. These logs here, we won't haul them. There'll be a contract truck that comes in and hauls these. So usually when things like that go down, they probably don't want to be on camera hauling logs, so I don't know if that we'll have any video hauling these out. And Somebody asked if I was keeping like a count total of the trees. I'm not. I'm keeping a footage total and a dollar amount total, but that's it. But we do things fast enough that it's hard for me to keep track. I mean, I should write that stuff down. I really should, but I don't. 'Cause I'm a terrible person, I guess. I don't know. But guys, thanks a lot for following our channel. Be sure to subscribe if you already haven't. Check us out on Facebook at Turner Logging LLC, Instagram at Turner Logging LLC. Find a link to our our YouTube channel at timbertracker.net. So do all that. Go to Logger Threads on Facebook. Buy yourself some shirts. Look good in the woods. And we will see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much. See you.